vitals, the levels you need to triage. Them. Whoa, HFR just dropped. HFR.
1-800-HFR.
HFR. Rosenthal Collins, 800. Les Rosenthal. Great. A great clearing member of the CME back in the day. Manja TV, my hat. How about the Cleaver hat, Matt? It is solid. It's as solid as it can be. It's as solid as the Manja rub, which you can get at Amazon.com. Please go there right now. Order some rub. You can only get it a pound at a time. People are like, why don't you sell it? Listen, buy a pound and start dealing. All right, start dealing rub out of your trunk of your car, whatever. When you're dropping the kids off, you're a soccer mom, you got the wood paneled Chrysler minivan, instead of dropping real money on a nice, conversion van, you can make the money up and upgrade to the conversion van if you start dealing rub.
Well, no, the conversion vans used to be the deal. Now the conversion vans now have become trendy because all the the woke generation.
Dude, you are right, because I bought my first conversion van in 2000, in the recession of 99 into 2000, and it's stickered at, I want to say, $42,000.
Yeah.
Right. And the guy was like, I need it off the lot. I think it was like 27 I got it for.
Right. Because nobody bought those things. But now with the the Sprinter generation, right? Everything's been jacked up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think there's a market there for buying minivans and souping them up.
Man, let me share. Speaking of soup, I want to share something. I got to share this. From the Caddy Network. Some guy in 2007 showed up to Augusta National thinking that his practice round pass meant he could play. The cop is there like, dude, what are you doing? I'm here for my practice round. You don't get to play. Move on down the road.
That looks like Ted Knight's friend from Caddyshack.
Kind of looks like Tom Kite to me.
Looks like Wang from Caddyshack.
Matt, Cooper sharing today, Sir David Cooper, that he bought his first Chemex. We talked about this before. I thought the Chemex was a new thing, and then I saw a Paul Newman movie from like the 50s or early 60s, and he's got a Chemex, working the Chemex. And Juanita Broderick, thank you, sharing Jill Biden with a nice little spinach saute going on the gas stove. Currently, she's a terrorist because she uses natural gas to cook. I thought that was interesting. And then continuing on my likes, Matt, did you see this? Wells Fargo, America's #1 home loan provider in 2019, is stepping away from the business. Yours.
They've done that before.
Yours. I mean, how's their market timing been? Is my question.
Never
because maybe they shouldn't be. Anyway, I don't know. I share all of that, but let me get to something serious because we want to Marty Armstrong talking gold and this thread that all of the central banks are buying gold, particularly China. It's an interesting thread because he's framing it as the war drums are pounding and that's going to happen. And then I have a friend, Matt, that spends a lot of time in Asia, and he shared this article, and let me share that one. Because I thought it was interesting in that I hadn't thought about this tack for war in Asia. And this is the Chinese dragon prepares to swallow Taiwan. And what they're talking here is that they're not going to fire a shot. They're going to put in a full blockade of the island. And Taiwan is so dependent. It's an island, first of all, island time. But they give it about 2 weeks without fuel deliveries where the island will screech to a halt. Mm-hmm. They probably have more than 2 weeks of food, but it's going to get precarious quickly. Mm-hmm. And I kind of never thought about that, Matt, that they could just, they don't have to invade the island. They can just do the old-fashioned siege. It's siege warfare. And what are we going to do about it? Like, what are you going to do about the siege? I don't know. Anyway, a long intro again to price discovery. Marty's saying slow down on the gold, not so fast. because they got to put their money somewhere, and they sold 100 billion or 100 or more of U.S. treasuries, and they're buying gold with it. So,
And Russia's doing the same.
Russia's doing the same. So let's look at gold first, because that's a natural bid.
The narratives, right? The narratives that the gold bugs want you to believe are untrue is basically what you're saying, Bob, right?
Well, they're trying to tell you that it's inflation driven, and Marty made the good point that it's not a great hedge against inflation if it doesn't pay you a rate of return for holding it. And that's been Warren Buffett's thought the whole time. It actually costs you money to hold it because you have to pay for storage.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It's one of the dumbest investments ever. Dumbest. And again, what are you going to do with your gold bars that you've stored at the end of the day? Like, what are you going to do, right? But let's start with the euro here, Bob, because I think the euro is more interesting. The euro has been rallying large since October here, 95 cents. Remember, it went all the way down. So I drew a little fib. Last high from January of last year, 123, all the way down here. Big bounce. We're almost to the 50% retrace, which is 109. And this area right in here really is interesting, 112. I don't know. I mean, we could rally all the way up there. That would be pretty shocking. But I think what's happening here is you're seeing all the gold bugs, all the euro, all the other currency traders are betting against the dollar. Like, this is the moment. They think this is the moment that the dollar is going to crack. This is not the moment. This will come probably 28 or so. We're not there yet. And the dollar will not collapse until there is full, complete loss of faith in the U.S. as a power, as a government, and we're not there yet. Although you and I are there, the rest of the world is not there, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I mean, this is key to remember that this takes time, and I think what you're seeing here is Marty also likes to say, you see these fake moves that are pretty powerful. Like, people start thinking, oh, the trend is, and I'm going to show the dollar. I'll show the dollar, but I'm going to show gold next. But what you're seeing is this huge suck up of anybody that was short going, wow, I'm wrong now, but you're really not. They're just trying to get them in, get them long again, and then they're going to go the trend, right? The trend is still down in the euro. The trend is still down in in gold. It hasn't changed. So let's bring up the gold chart next, because I think what's happening is, like you said, they can't because of the way they are warring with the U.S. already, both Russia and China. They can't buy any more. They're selling and are selling all their debt. And you see this, look at this beautiful chart. And I wanted to bring this up again. 1901 is a 61.8 on this bounce just from the last high, 2080 down here to 1608. We've been in the same range, Bob, going back to COVID 2020. Nothing has changed. And everybody, like, I'm a broken record, because I say it every time you get a rally, it's a gift.
Right, exactly. I mean, there will be a bid there because they got still $1 trillion. The Chinese still have $1 trillion.
Well, and you always have the gold bugs. The gold bugs are forever like telling these stories like, central banks are buying gold. Give me a break. Central banks aren't telling you shit. First of all, where are you finding that information? It's all noise. And if they were,
are you saying that you don't trust some of the things that comes out of the central banks sharing of their information?
Hell no, of course not.
Okay. Yeah. You're right, though. When you look at that, it is a complete bracketology. For you intraday traders or day traders, for sure, it can go further. Like, you're not near the top of that bracket yet.
Yeah, but again, you're getting close. Like, you've had a huge run. Don't be a pig. Great. They've been buying since, again, Russia and everybody has been buying, and guess what? They've been selling bonds. Breaking news. I don't know if you saw this morning, but I'm going to post it because I loved her. She was in. She was a supermodel. You probably recognize her, right? She was in the George Michael videos. But Tatiana Petit's gone.
Petit's. That's too bad.
So
that's too bad.
Let me pass that on.
Of course, you can't stop what just pops into your head. Another 56-year-old that just.
Just a lot of questions. Hey, how about the 21-year-old Air Force cadet plays on the
Again,
football team walking to class yesterday.
It's a broken
But,
record.
you know,
at
it's
this
normal.
point.
I think
It's a
he died
broken
of
record.
I think he died of cold, dry air in Colorado Springs. That killed him, I heard. Cold, dry air.
Yeah, well, it's climate change for sure.
Mhm.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
I just want to say something about the dollar too,
Yes.
and why. We both talked about this coming in. I mean, I think that this euro can go whatever, 109, 112, whatever. It's got a date with 80 cents. I'm telling you that right now. That's my thought. It's
Yeah,
got
no,
a date.
it will. It's got a date with 80 cents. And then let me bring up the dollar. So while these currencies are being chased by the potential and the realistic potential of real war starting soon everywhere, right? The dollar still has not really broke from this level. It's just hanging around 103, just hanging around.
And even it does, the floor of that profile is going to be a whole lot of work.
I mean, you're not getting through $96 in the next few months. Again, this is a springboard to the next big move, is all it is. And that's what I'm trying to say, is like the trend here is clearly to the upside. And you can give people, in this case, we've given them 4 or 5 months of hope that the dollar now is collapsing. Well, we've done this before. Like, we've done it here. This has been a little deeper, but it's just pulling back into these areas where we found support before. And there's plenty of support, as you discussed, right here. So until you're on the downside of this side, forget about it. Like, it's something we're talking about. Until the dollar's really below 89, nothing's going to change here. So you got a long way to go. And again, I think this is not the timing on that to happen. So I think it's just it's the new world order war, which
by the way, the Swiss calling up 5,000 people to protect the new world order currently happening in Davos.
That is correct.
I thought that was interesting that you shared. Matt, the other thing that I think that you cannot ignore is the interest rate differentials among nations. Once again, we had a decade basically of falling to zero interest rates, and I brought this up, on our pre-gaming, that in the 80s there was such great arbitrage opportunities in trading currencies around those interest rate differentials, and it was another collateral damage to the trading professionals when rates went to zero. Mm-hmm. And it's come back, and there's no way that it's going away anytime soon. Like, people think that, they're going to start cutting. No, they're not going to start cutting rates. No. There's no chance in the time frame that a lot of people think. And what's beautiful about my opinion on that is it's going to be a tradable opinion, because I can be wrong on that. And the volatility is such that it's going to be a continued. The greatest generation of trading that we have ever seen is coming. It's here. It's going to continue. Just to point this out, Matt, the March 2023 euro dollars are trading 107.85 or 107.98, excuse me, 107. For June delivery, it's 108.64. It's 75 point differential between those two delivery dates, and it's driven by the difference in interest rates between us and the euro land and their interest rate policy. There's fantastic tradable vehicles i.e. the spread between these deliverable months in currencies that are great again. So if there wasn't enough to trade already, you can start looking at foreign currency forward spread trading, because that's going to be great again too. And you can chart it. And I honestly, Matt, this just kind of repercolated back into my head, because that's what I cut my teeth on when I got onto the trading floor in 1985. Class B arbitrage, interest or intercommodity, not calendar spreading in the D-mark and in the Canadian dollar, because there's different interest rates between all of these countries, and it's a tradable thing. That is a tradable thing, and the market gives you opportunity. So I'll have more on this as we venture further into the year with trade ideas around that interest rate differential via the currency, not trading the interest rate products themselves, but it's inherent in the calendar spread of the currency. Man, that was hard to get out. Holy
Oh,
shit.
wow.
That was a freaking mouthful. All right,
Yeah.
man, let me share on the sports front. We always like to share something in the sporting front. And for me, Matt, it's just another reason why I hate pickleball. Right? This was Inside Market Vitals that you shared. Better start wearing how I don't see how a helmet helps you from tearing your neck artery from looking, turning around looking. I don't get that.
Well, I know, but maybe again, I got a lot of questions. Maybe a healthy 36-year-old again blowing out a neck artery from playing pickleball. It's not that strenuous, dude.
Not the way you and I play.
Not the way I play. I can drill that ball down your throat. I'd hit you in the neck.
Unreal. And then this was the other thing that we wanted to talk about just a little bit. The NFL, everything has a cycle, and right now the NFL is a cycle high. I mean, unbelievable, 2.7 billion in sponsorship revenue for the 2022 season. Think about that.
That's 100. What is that? 100 million a team. That means these valuations need to go for the teams again. Dan Snyder, sell that thing, you dog.
That's just crazy. Anyway, what else you want to talk about? I mean, we could go to beer because I saw that.
Well, I want to talk a little. Well, I want to talk a little bit about airlines. But what's interesting about that NFL story? Here's the thing that 82 of the top 100 telecasts last year. 82 of the top 100 were NFL games, Bob.
Like we're talking cycle high here.
Yeah, but that means nobody watches network TV. So Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC, just stop. Just put all your stuff on pay-per-view, whatever, all these things, right? You got all the channels, and again, I think we're at peak. I think also what it tells us is, and we've talked about this before, we're at peak stream also.
Streaming, peak
yes,
streaming.
There's too many streaming platforms. The's too many. Nobody can
too
watch
much content.
Too much content, right? It's got to collapse. And
that's
I think
why we should stop. Oh,
there's too much shitty content. There's good content. There's shitty content.
This is true.
But that's interesting because again, why are you even advertising your stupid little shows on your network TV? Because nobody's going to watch it unless it's an NFL football game.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I bet those other 18 were probably the Final Four and the final game, of the football and college basketball, college football, and maybe the Masters. If it was close, I don't remember, but you know what I'm saying. There's just, I bet you the other 18 items on the top 100 were probably not even worthwhile.
All right, Matt. How about some other prices? What else you want to talk about? We got
let's talk about
item.
Let's talk about we got CPI. The market's just in the range. It's going up today to where we were yesterday. We've been at these prices. Nothing is new here. We're waiting for the CPI. I think again tomorrow, buy 3,800, sell 4,050.
Rinse and repeat until further notice.
Well, I mean, sell the high end, buy the low end tomorrow. If we get, put your orders in before the market, and we're trading at 39.72 right now. So that's another 75 points higher on the upside. If they beat on if inflation is being beat by the Fed, which may happen tomorrow, right? Maybe we'll get another little upside jaunt, but then that will be short lived because that's good. That should be good news. So, good news probably gets sold at that point. I don't know. Again, it's all how the market reacts to it.
It is. But the bracketology is in place. So
yeah.
We're
at 39.70. So 170 points below us, you buy, and you sell 75 points higher than where we are now. The bonds, again, we'll see if they make a new price. You just have to wait. This whole week has been predicated and waiting again on one event. And then we have a holiday on Monday. We really don't get going into this year until February. It's the same as always. Like nothing's happening. We're not making new highs. We're not making new lows. We're in the same ranges we've been in since June. Don't overthink it. Sometimes the market, you keep talking about great trading markets. These are great trading markets if you're aware of the type of market that you're in. It's not
Right.
trending.
It certainly isn't.
The trends are
Correct.
very short. They go fast
In
and then
fact,
they're done. Right.
I had that discussion today with somebody that knowing the type of market that you're in and being able to identify that is probably more important than anything else.
Yes.
Because if you have a reversion methodology and you're in a
You're
trending
in a-
market, you're dead.
You're
If you have a
done.
trending market and you're, trending methodology and you're in a chop mode, you're dead. So figuring out those two things on whatever time frame that you're acting in is the
Key.
number one important key thing to keep
Yeah.
in mind.
And if your time frame's not working, find another one that is, right.
Yeah, it's like the 10th of never. That's what I'm going to start trading. Right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about another airline. Again,
Yeah. You know what?
But this is a governmental problem. This is, again, policy problem. This is not
And it's a technology problem.
Yeah, but who runs the FAA is the U.S. government, right? So let's put it where it needs to be. Like, we are, a banana republic with this type of infrastructure we have. Like, if Joe Biden really wants to do something, fix the FAA, put in new computers, so we are safer. Like, if you really want to infrastructure up, do something. I mean, I saw a clip on Tucker talking about how at least the UK, when they went to India, left buildings and infrastructure and things that made India great. When we go to Afghanistan, all we do is leave everything, including guns, and then we leave. We didn't build anything for them.
Back to what was
It's horrible.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
horrible.
Yeah, I heard the biggest problem with the FAA is that the computer system was from from the
That's for sure the problem, and it's the same problem when it comes to healthcare, right? We've had legacy enterprise systems, and so think about how many IBM mainframes are still. I mean, what do you think Bernie Madoff ran his scam on? IBM mainframes.
All right, Matt, bring it up. Bring up the not the Bernie Madoff, the Bernie Sanders, because we got to talk about price discovery around.
Do you have it to show?
The jabs. I don't think I do. Again, what me and you think is immaterial compared to the price discovery. So you can think that the rollout was great, the efficacy was great, that it's just a bunch of noise that people are dropping dead. I don't see it. You had the Bernie.
I got it. So Bernie comes out today. Bernie again. Where's he been? He's been muted because he's old and washed up, just like Uncle Joe. Now Bernie Sanders is accusing Moderna of price gouging and corporate greed because they need to quadruple their prices because nobody's taking their shots because they don't work, dude. Why?
Man, we used to say in the brokerage world on the floor, we should double our brokerage and hope we only lose half the business.
Right.
Well, they're going to have to. They're quadrupling it. They're going to need to 10x it because nobody's taking it.
Bernie should be careful in this situation. He should be asking how many people has he killed because he, used $2 billion in taxpayer funds to give to Moderna, and now you want to cry about the fact that these shots that killed people, Bernie, are 4 times the cost. Come on.
All right, bring it up. Bring up the chart. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So Moderna today is trading at 185.27. Yesterday was up 190, so it's pulled back a little bit. Again, we were talking about it at the end of the year where it was much higher. It got up to that 215, 220 level. Yeah. And, again, the flu season is right now. So if they can't take advantage of all the suckers getting their shots, which nobody's taking because there's no need to take them, even the people that have taken one to more shots are saying, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, that's the thing. Like, even if you are all woke and still believe you were doing your part and all that, like that's your thing, you're not going in for another shot unless you're just cuckoo. And there's 10 to 15% of those that are way over that. They're wearing, and you can pick them out. They got a mask and they got the toddler behind them. They got the 13-year-old in a mask with them.
That chart looks particularly head and shoulder-ish. I'm not usually one of that would ever mention a head and shoulders.
Yeah. Well, and you
so
got You got a lingering left arm out here too, but
That is so 1970s head and
Yeah.
shoulders formations, but that looks pretty damn perfect.
but Pfizer, came off too, and we talked about that when it was like the low 50s, 52, 53, 54, 55. Look at this thing; it's gotten hammered. I mean, that has been a fantastic trade. 55, middle of December, all the way back here to 47. Take some off. Don't be a pig. We were saying short it. Take some off. You're back to the low end of the value zone on this, this particular, sign waving chart. And that's all. Again, this is not a trending chart. That's why
No.
you can sell these with confidence, because we're not going to the moon. Nothing's going to change that is going to make people rush out and go, request Pfizer shots. It's just not happening right now.
It is
So-
not.
Well, did you see the news yesterday about that BioNTech, buying an AI company? Like, what? They paid $700 million for it too. Did you see that?
I did not, but that
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes sense. It makes sense for them to incorporate some sort of technology to, and I don't know why. I'm just saying it does.
Or
I don't know
or
why.
you could have a warped sense of why they're buying it, like I do, and say, why are they buying it?
Yeah, let's not go there.
But here's the stock. I mean, again, ran up to 189, pulled back here to 140. Again, a good short, great short. All these were great shorts. Again, every time these, just like gold, every time these pieces of shit run, sell them. Especially when
End
they
of
all
story. Rinse, repeat.
rinse and repeat. You're in that type of market. Know your type of market. Again, to your point, Bob. Know your type of market.
All right. Man, we covered a lot. We sure covered a lot. We covered war, jabs, football, pickleball. Who had pickleball on their bingo card today that we'd cover? We'd actually cover pickleball.
And we haven't covered foosball yet, and I'm expecting a segment.
Listen, dude, I was undefeated for 6 months in the
Yeah,
office.
I bet you were a
Foosball.
spinner. You were a spinner, probably.
No, spinner was illegal, completely illegal on the table. No spinning allowed.
Spinning should be illegal.
And by the way, I am old school. I hate I'm an old school guy. I like a single goalie foosball back line, not three guys in the back line. That's blasphemy. That's how they all are now. That's
Oh,
how
really?
they
I didn't know
all
that.
are. Yeah, they're
No.
all like that now.
No, I didn't know that. No, I like the
Single
one guy.
goalie.
I like the one guy with the 1-3-5.
And then you got the bank
1-3-5-3.
corners, the bank quarters to keep the ball from dying
Yeah.
in the corner.
Right.
I mean, why'd they go away from that? Way better game,
Must have been a patent in the technology that somebody didn't want to pay for.
possibly. All right, is that it, Mark? Lee, anything else? Anything else, or we're gonna call it? We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it at 12:18. It's 12:18 Central. Do you know where your spike is? That's what we say here. All right.
Jared, by the way, I want to point this out because again, underappreciated. Jared Goff, Lions team record, highest touchdown to interception ratio, lowest interception rate, and highest single season passer rating for a Detroit Lion.
Dude, how can they not? I mean, the guy's still young.
He's like 27.
Yeah.
He's been to the Super Bowl. He's not a loose cannon. He's pretty calm. He's not an Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
And he does wear the Baryshnikov type Detroit Lion uniform.
well,
very
that's
well.
the NFL's doing. That's not his choice.
Yeah,
So,
they got that. And nobody does Lululemon like the Lions do. The Lions are
the
complete
Lions don't do it.
Yeah, they do.
Brought to you by Lululemon.
Yeah, the Lions Lululemon uniform available at Saks Fifth Avenue. Because
Only outside.
because the Saks are like, I'm like, do they have to have the Lululemon tights on here? It's with Baryshnikov dropping back to, he's in the pocket. He's about to get sacked. His sack is sacked. Triple sack. I don't know. Triple sack, sacked. That's what we got. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please go to the Amazon storefront and buy yourself some shrimp mojo. Please retweet this. All right. Likes are only for marking stuff that you want to bring up later to show somebody. That's why you like something. You don't like it actually to like it. You retweet something if you like it. The like button is simply there for you to remember something personally. Like, I like this. I need to come back to this. If you really thought the content was good, you retweet it. That's how this thing works. You retweet it. Let me say that again. You retweet it. All right. Anyway, that's what we got. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lee. We'll be back tomorrow for another segment of Market Vitals. Be disciplined, trade discipline, mind the know, mind the mo, and the know. Know your value ranges, know your points of control, know what the vitals are, Matt. Those are the vitals. You got to know them. Know your momentum.
Know what type of market you're in. Know what type of market you're in.
And right now it is a la Chef Gruel is good in this market because he's excellent at chopping. Chef Gruel, tremendous at chopping onions. Thank you. All right. See you.